Hi, Reaperman here, and today I've got my Evercade VS and actually a little bit of a problem with it, and I'd like to talk about it and my little bit of a workaround for it. So as you can see, I got my system here with two cartridges. It's currently powered off, and it's sitting on top of this kind of TurboGrafx shaped Evercade VS stand here. Now, up on the screen, I've got Steam, and so I'm clearly over on my PC here. So let's go ahead and actually switch over to the input that this thing is going to be on, and then power on the Evercade VS. And we're sitting here waiting for it to come up here, and we'll switch over to this side, and as you can see, it's coming up in the top corner. It says it's at 1080p. This is great. So I had to switch over to it before I powered it on. And this system actually, it's fairly polished compared to previous Evercade releases, so that's actually kind of nice of it there. And as you can see, there's all my games and stuff up there. But let's try something a little bit different. Let's go ahead and power this guy down. Let's go ahead and switch back to the PC. Yeah, come on, come on, come on. It takes a bit to sync on my system. And that's actually where the problem is going to be, is the syncing back on the system here. Now, things to pay attention to. So the system is currently powered off. This right here is my capture/stream device. It's an AverMedia Live Gamer Portable 2, and it gets rather picky about sync, which we'll probably see in a second here. Anyway, so we go back, and right now I'm clicking this thing on. So it is on. As you can see up on the screen, it doesn't auto switch over to it, which actually most consoles, that's kind of what happens on there. So let's just give it a second here to power on. Okay, still coming up, and let's switch over to it here, HDMI, and as you can see, what's that? We are actually at 1280 by 720. This is 720p, but it actually gets a little bit worse than that. Let's just go ahead and let's pick a game here. Let's pick Chain Reaction. This is probably my favorite off of the Data East arcade collection here, because it kind of reminds me of Magical Drop. Actually, seems like exactly the same game as Magical Drop. Okay, and there we go. And now everything has lost sync. And then when it comes back, the game is at 1080p. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and quit game. And then, oh, what's this? We're changing sync again. That is correct. So now we are back at 720p, and if we go into the game, all of a sudden, it's going to drop, boom, resync at 1080p. And the reason I keep doing that is I'm hoping that on camera, I can get this little AverMedia. There it goes. Okay, so the AverMedia just dropped, and it's going to start flashing red, and when it does this, the only way to get it back is to disconnect all the cables, the HDMI and the 2 power, and then this thing will come back into the loop. Of course, it does still pass through video fine after an initial sync on its failure, so I actually do have the game up there, and the games are in 1080p, but if you don't switch over to this thing before you turn it on, your menus will be in 720p, and that's just kind of what I want to point out. Also, I do think it should probably be doing some kind of an auto switch. I do not know enough about the HDMI format to tell you the proper terminology for that, but it does seem like other consoles, when I power them on, it does switch over to them automatically, which would also help alleviate this problem to some degree. Anyway, so that's just a quick look at my Evercade VS problem, and I think there's probably going to be some more visibility of it over here on YouTube than there is on the Atari Age forum that I'm on. So maybe we can get this corrected in firmware. Now, there are no settings in the current firmware to lock it to a resolution, neither 720p nor 1080p. My theory is that it tries to sync for a few seconds on start at 1080, and if it can't do that, then it drops the menu down to 720p. But then when it comes time to do games, maybe it does another check and realizes it can sync at 1080 and then does that for games, but then oddly remembers drop back to 720p for the menu. I don't know, it's weird. There's some kind of logical weirdness in it. Anyway, until next time, Reaper Man out.